This call is now being recorded.
Madam, hello.
Yes, sir.
Rajeshri, madam.
Yes, sir.
Can we check my presentation? So,
Hi,
shall I
yes,
share? Just 2 minutes.
You can share from your screen also. Right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm sharing from my side.
Okay.
Just check it. Is it visible or not, or some problem?
Yes, sir. Yes. It's
Is it
visible.
visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Shall we start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. You can.
Okay. Thank you.
ते विकासला सांगा मॅडम.
Yes, sir. सांगते, sir. Vikas Bansode, please off your video.
Good afternoon to today's expert speaker, Dr. V.P. Dhulap sir, our principal, Dr. S.C.A. Patil sir, and Vice Principal, Dr. V.V. Poddar sir, HODs, and all faculty and participants. We have gathered here on the occasion of National Pollution Prevention Day. This day is observed on 2nd December in India in the memory of people who lost their lives in Bhopal gas tragedy, which was one of the biggest industrial pollution disaster occurred on 2nd December 1984. Major objective of the day is to spread awareness on managing and controlling industrial disasters, pollution control acts, and to prevent the pollution produced by human negligence and industrial processes. Institution Council, IIC of AGPIT, has arranged this expert talk to motivate participants to contribute in reducing pollution. Institutions Innovation Cell, IIC of AGPIT, is one of the 2200 Institute Innovation Councils established by Innovation Cell, Government of India, in higher education institutes across the country till November 2020. So major focus is to create vibrant local innovation ecosystem, startup supporting mechanism, and to prepare institutions for Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements framework. Under the guidance of Ambassador of IIC AGPIT, Dr. V.V. Poddar sir, Chairman of IIC, Professor Sakre Madam, IIC has organized so many expert talks on startup ideas, entrepreneurship development. I am happy. AGPIT 3 stars out of 4 in speaker, a distinguished personality, Dr. V.P. Dhulap sir. On behalf of A.G. Patil Institute of Technology, I welcome Dr. V.P. Dhulap sir. And I request Professor R.B. Kulkarni madam to introduce our speaker to all participants.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, one and all. Respected Principal Sir Dr. S.A. Patil, our Vice Principal Sir Dr. V.V. Poddar Sir, and Ambassador of this IISc, all HODs, faculties, and my student friends. Today, we are here to get aware about pollution and its control. For this purpose, we have a distinguished personality, an enthusiastic and study-holic personality, Dr. V. Dhulap. It's my honor to introduce the personality like him. Here, I got 25 pages as a brief introduction of his profile. And again, I am going to brief it again because all of we are eager to hear his words, his views. So our today's expert speaker is respected Dr. Vinayak Dhulap sir. Currently, he is working as a HOD of Environmental Science of Punyaslok Ahilyadevi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur. He had completed his PhD in Environmental Science in 2015 in Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. He is NET and SET qualified too. He has also enriched his resume by softwares like GIS and remote sensing, diploma in IT. He has teaching experience of 9 years. He is worked as a resource person for bioresource program sponsored by DST, Government of Maharashtra. Introduction program, along with teaching, he also worked as an environmental chemist for some period. He has given his contribution as training coordinator for Yashda, member in Nirmal Gram, project officer in Mantralaya, Mumbai. Along with working, he always adds value to his profile by attending various orientation courses, refresher courses, trainings, etc. He has presented papers at national level. At national level, he has presented around 19 papers, and at international level, he has presented 22 papers. He has published around 24 papers in national and international journals. There are 2 patents on his account. He has also worked as reviewer of 3 national research articles and 11 international articles. He has published 3 books and articles, and number is around 5. Many times he has awarded for his publications. He plays an important role in designing curriculum as well as in paper setting. He has also worked as an observer for many exams. He has important roles in various activities run by university. He has delivered more than 20 expert talks in various education institutes. He has delivered his speeches as keynote person in 4 national level conferences too. He has got funding around 10 lakhs for his various projects. He is active member of various co-curricular and extracurricular activities. He has arranged many conferences, workshops, and training programs. We are so lucky to have such a versatile personality with us today. So, not wasting much time, I request Dr. Dhulap sir to guide us. Thank you. Dr. Dhulap sir.
Thank you so much, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving my introduction about overall what I have did my in my service, overall service. So first of all, I thanks to the principal of the AG Patil Institute, Professor Patil sir, and our senior mentor, uh, Professor VB Poddar sir, mentor of, he is mentoring for the startup as well as innovation cell. So I thanks to him because he has recommended my name for this special talk or this particular occasion. I also thanks to uh, Rajeshri madam because he is continuously taking my taking updates from me and confirming this session. So overall, I thanks to all of those and also the organizing team for organizing this event. First of all, the purpose already given by the madam in the introduction, that is why we are going to celebrate this national environmental pollution control day, because we know in last 30 years back or near to 30 years back, the Bhopal gas tragedy, and till today the problem is there in various forms. The problem in soil pollution, problem in air pollution, problem in or in various form, the problems are till today they're observed. So there should be some technologies they can remediate, they can control, they can remove those pollutants, remove those contaminants which are mostly which are harming the what you say that the genera to genera. There are many chances, or there are many observations, they are transferred from one system to another system. One system means one ecosystem to the another ecosystem, likewise. So for that, the government has taken initiative to celebrate in that way, so that everyone should aware about the pollution, the level increase of the level of the pollutant level in the country. Similarly, we observed, we have heard the news from the in North India, particularly from the Delhi as well as metro cities, from mostly the metro cities, vehicular problem and the vehicular emissions. And mostly during the winter season, they mostly facing the problem related to the smog formation. And government has again taken the initiative to control of the emissions which is coming out from the vehicle. So why not we focus on the biofuel? Why not we control this the extra emission, or which is mostly harmful, hazardous, or dangerous from old people or children to old people. So they taken the initiative, they changes the technology, they they taken the initiative for the modification in the vehicular as well as the they gave the preference to the electrical vehicles or renewable energy resources or the fuels. So overall, if you look at those things, means we should take the awareness, we should aware about those problems, so that this will uh, save the others as well as ours life. So in that way, uh, in the whole India, everyone is celebrating or celebrated in various forms this particular day. Some areas or in some organization, they celebrating in week, in the form of week. So they're celebrating as a week, whole week they are celebrating as a national pollution control week or like that. So the purpose of that particular activity is to know and to aware the people, aware the workers, aware the occupational workers, so that they should aware and they can take their own precautions. They can take their own precautions related to the pollution as well as the safety matters. So that is the purpose of this particular day. So hope I think everyone clear about this purpose of this particular day. So I'm going to share my presentation. Presentation is a not that much part is teaching in that way or talking in that way, but you should just I'm giving some just ideas. What are the ideas which can be they can change your mindset, they can help in your whatever whatever you are working in your area. So that ideas can be uh, mostly useful, because your institute running 3 4 courses, PG courses related to the engineering, that is mechanical engineering, computer science, or civil engineering, like that. And it is your institute is affiliated to the BATU, Baba Saheb Ambedkar Technological University. So I know, actually I have joined in this university in 2008, till from 2008 to till today. I know the development of your institute in various forms, academic, extracurricular, and in other way also. So I appreciate your college, and also the trustee for this particular work. First of all, I share my screen. Just a minute. Am I audible? No? आवाज येतोय सगळं?
Yes, you
Yes.
are audible, sir.
Yes. Now my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes.
Pin करूया.
Okay. So, in overall, if you look at in this environmental pollution point of view, we are mostly focused on the environmental pollutants. But in that pollutants, we are now the whole country is facing the problem of the air pollution and air pollutant, uh, their um, their formation, their impacts, like that. And world is facing the problem of the global warming. We know the issues of the global, that is climate change, global warming, greenhouse effect, acid rain. All those are the atmospheric issues, global issues, which are mostly affecting on the human as well as the.
Sir, now you are not audible. Your voice is breaking, sir. Hello.
व्हाट्सएप पे डालिए मैसेज.
Hello, some technical problem is there. Lecture will be resumed after some time. Please wait. In a few minutes, we will resume the lecture. Participants are requested to don't leave the meeting. Please wait for few minutes.
you are in the UG as well as in the PG studies. So you might be aware about the pollution is nothing but the change in the background of concentration. Okay, so whatever the change, and that change is because of the pollutants, and pollutant their forms are different. They are in the different form. That is, the pollutants, they are in the form of gases, they are in the form of liquid, as well as they are in the form of solids. So whatever their form, when they come into the environment, they changes the characteristics. Whatever they are originally, they changes the originality and they convert it into the in other forms. Similarly, substance introduced into the environment that adversely affects. So let's example of our air pollution. So the characteristics before the entry of that particular pollutant, what was the characteristics, and what after the entry of that pollutants, what was the characteristics of that air. Means before entry and after entry, of course the change in that air or in that air quality. So that part is the part of the pollution studies and their adverse effect, how they are affecting on the living as well as non-living things. Means adversely affect on the living things, whatever the organisms are there, they in the form of what the plants, animals, microorganisms, or even human body. So when they come in contact with those pollutants, how they are changes, how they are affects. So that is the part. And how after their affect, or when they are affecting on the living as well as the non-living thing, how they are usefulness. Means their impact in the way of what, how they are not useful in that way. So that part is part of the pollution study. Then pollution happens because of no process is 100% efficient. Each process produces pollution. So in pollution studies, so this is again the basic things, but I'm just giving you in the form of what the introduction. So the pollution happens because no process is 100%. So whatever, means even in our home, whatever our mummy or our sister, whatever our grandma, whatever they are doing, so they are not doing 100%. Whatever they are doing, somewhat they emitting something into the what, indoor environment. So they come into the what, in Marathi we call it a thaska lagne. What exactly that? So they are emitting something during the preparation of that food. So they that come into the form of what, the smoke, that come into the form of the oily part, that come into the form of what, the spicy part. When it comes into the indoor environment, so that can be affect on the insidal the things, what who is present in that room or that home. So they can affect, they can feel, they can feel the the change in the home, what exactly they happen, what happen in that particular place. So that is the pollution happens because no process is 100%. कोणतीही process 100% नाही. So that is, so deficiency in that process, or we can say that is not a complete process. Okay. As we know, as we just discussed on the pollution point of way, so pollution having many types of the pollution. They we call as the air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, the vehicular pollution, noise pollution, radiation pollution, thermal pollution. There are number of types, number of pollution types. Okay, but majorly we consider the air, soil, and water because all those are the main important resource of the human as well as other living things. And each and everything is based on the air, soil, and water. Because if it is contaminating, means of course they can change the characteristics in various form. They can create a problem in various cycles. We call it the food chain, food web, like that. So that's why the air pollution, soil pollution, and water pollution all are very, very important. But we will mostly focus on the air quality or air pollution because we have limitation of the time. So in air pollution, there are what, again, sources, their causes, their control, their prevention, preventive measures. Many things are there. Similarly, soil pollution, similar in the water pollution. But as far as this the celebration of this particular day, in that way, I will focus on air pollution studies. So in air pollution studies, we will see in detail what are the sources, what are the their control, what are the control measures and devices are there. So that we will see in this session. So these are the major issues which is given by the CPC, the Central Pollution Control Board, and all those are issues. Each and every country they are thinking about those issues and they are controlling their issues or managing their issues at their levels. We call as what the major environmental problems. So what are the areas of those problems? So air pollution having major issues. So the issues are issues like the global climate change, ozone depletion, urban air pollution. Because of the urban population, air pollution is there. So urban air pollution is there. Acid deposition is there, mostly in industrial areas, in MIDC areas. Outdoor pollutants are there. So outdoor pollutants, which we cannot control those outdoor pollutants. So their major problem is there. Indoor pollutants are there. You might be known about the indoor air pollutants. They are in the form of the paint. They are in the form of what the means their forms are similar like as the outdoor pollutants. They are in the form of what the gases. They are in the form of the solids as well as in liquid form. Then there are characteristics, different types of the indoor air pollutants. They may be in the form of what the pathogenic or non-pathogenic, hazardous, non-hazardous, like that. And also in air pollution studies, the noise is there. So these are the issues related to the air pollution. Similarly, issues of the water pollution. So the sedimentation deposition is there. Means those are the areas where you can work. Dear friends, dear student friends, you have those areas where you can focus because you are the engineers and you can solve the problem of the industry as well as society as well as the urban, whatever the areas are they are mentioned. So in that areas, in that particular area, you can having the opportunity to control those resources, to control those pollution problems. Then sedimentation problem is in the water pollution. Then nutrient overloaded. As we know, in most of the water bodies, the contaminants are there. So because of their overloading, the major problem of the water bodies, toxic chemicals, we cannot remediate those toxic chemicals. So their problem is there. Then infectious agents are there. We call as what the eutrophication. That is the major problem of the many water bodies like river water bodies or pond or dam like that. Oxygen depletion is there. Pesticidal problem is there. Oil spills are there. Excess heat is also there. So all those are the problems due to the water. uh, it is due to the water contamination or this is the problem of the water resource. Similarly, waste production we call as the solid as well as the hazardous waste. Their major problem is the disposal. So we don't have the disposal site, we don't have the techniques, we don't have the technologies. We can directly burn, we can directly convert it, we can recycle it, recycle, reuse that waste production or waste material within 24 hours. We have many years of deposited material, which is now today the situation is they are in the hazardous form. When it comes in contact with the other organisms, so of course they can create the problem in the way of what the toxicity. So that is the situation. Clear? Then the food supply problem is there, overgrazing, farmland, wetland, overfishing. All those are the issues related to the other way. But in pollution point of view, the air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, and similar like that. So those are the major issues related to the pollution. Okay, clear? Then the part is coming in front of all of us, that is the monitoring. What exactly the monitoring? I have just uh, uh, gone through this particular the situation because we know each and everything, but we don't know how it is monitored. Okay, so I think in mechanical engineering, each and everything is treated, but before treatment, how it can be assessed, how it can be monitored. There are some methodologies are there. So with the help of those methodologies, we can monitor. Means monitoring is nothing but the assessment. It is nothing but the checking. Means we have to check what level that problem is there. What is the intensity of that particular problem. So that is the
Hello, sir. Hello.
हॅलो
हॅलो.
हॅलो हा
हां सर.
मॅडम प्रॉब्लेम मोबाईलवरूनच करतोय परंतु लाईट काय अजून आली नाहीये. हा तर
बरं बरं.
मी बरेच वेळ झालं का मी लेफ्ट झालो होतो. मी ऍक्च्युली माझे
हां
फुल
हां.
स्क्रीन केल्यामुळे मला काहीच कळालं नाहीये.
हां हां.
आवाज येतो का स्लो
हां
येतो?
आता यायला लागलाय.
ओके ओके.
कंटिन्यू सर.
हा एक मिनिट.
हां.
discussed on the environmental issues. Now audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. And screen is visible, na?
Yes,
Screen
sir,
this year?
screen is also visible.
Okay. So in the environmental issues we discussed on, I have just discussed on the air pollution having a major issues, and these are the issues, list of the issues. Whole world is working on that particular aspect, even though as per the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So each and every country they have working on the pollution control of the pollution, as well as this particular areas, means air pollution monitoring as well as water pollution, even waste management or recycle reuse of the waste. So all those are the issues, but in those areas or in this particular areas, the student having an opportunity, so they can think in that way, so that this will be helpful to them in future point of view. So the point is related to the pollution, that is the monitoring. Before the pollution studies or control studies, we should know about the monitoring, what exactly the monitoring, what is the need of monitoring, why we should monitor that particular problem, because monitoring is an method which can gives an idea to how it can be controlled, how it is controlled, or what way we can control that particular problem. So monitoring in environmental monitoring or overall pollution monitoring, environmental monitoring is a method to assess their level, assess their concentration, or how we can remediate from that particular problem or from that particular area. So environmental monitoring can be defined as the systematic sampling of air, water, soil, biota in order to observe and study the environment. Means this is not only the air monitoring, or this is not particular for this air studies. So this can be implement, this can be applied in water as well as soil or other biological things. Okay, so that's why before the pollution control studies or the pollution control, we should know about the monitoring. We should assess that particular the area. Okay, this monitoring is helpful for the planning, or it is nothing but the plan or systematic collection of the environmental data. So whatever we are getting, so all those are the systematic way. Let's example of you are doing practical in your lab. So what you are collecting? You are collecting the data, you are collecting the results. So that results you are collecting in the systematic way. So same way, this monitoring method is a method which can collect the information in systematic way, and it is compiled, and then after you will find out, you will come to the conclusion whether that particular thing is achieving or not, or it is related to the relevance is there or not. So that part is related to the environmental monitoring. Okay, and whatever the results we are gathered, we can analyze this statistically, we can analyze this systematically with the help of computer systems or models, and we can then after we can publish that particular results. Okay, so we call as the various types of the reports in environmental science or in environmental field, we call as the EIA reports, or in other way we call as the research papers in that particular area. What are the objectives? So this is actually, the monitoring is the new area, or it is not new, but everyone has to think in that way before the control, because pollution, everybody knows about the pollution, concept of pollution, sources of the pollution, types of the pollution, or their controlling measures or devices. Everything, everyone should know and aware about this pollution. But uh, I thought I should give new information. I should give new idea about the monitoring, their concept, their objectives, their benefits, like that. So in that way, I have given this particular concept in today's session. So the objective of monitoring, why, what are the objectives? So the following objectives of the monitoring methods or the monitoring. The main objective of the monitoring is the manage and minimize the impacts, how we can minimize and how we can manage that impact. Okay, so this is the first objective. Second thing, we can cover the baseline document or to know the condition of that area. Let's say example of the Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, we are covering the baseline document. We know the condition of that area, we know the status of that area in season wise, there are what the changes in that particular area, so that type of information we are collecting. So that is the monitoring method. Third is review the accuracy of the impact predictions. We are taking the reviews whether that particular thing is happen from that particular problem or not. So we are taking the reviews from local or national, whatever the medias are there. So through those medias, we are taking the reviews. Review the activities and the mitigation measures. So we are taking the reviews and we are thinking in that way how we can mitigate that measures. Similarly, monitor the compliance with the agreed condition. Okay, so whatever the compliances are there, so with the help of the conditions, we are whether it is agreed or not. Then identifying the trends in the impacts, whatever the trends are there, whatever the impacts are there, so we are identifying. So that is also the objective. And at the last, assessing the effectiveness of the environmental protection measures and man agreement regulations. So overall we are assessing for the effectiveness whatever we are protecting for the environment, so we are assessing and we are looking for the effectiveness, means that particular problem, is it feasible for the solve that particular problem in environmental point of view or in eco-friendly manner. So all those are the objective of the monitoring. As I said that the monitoring having various types, similar like as a pollution. Let's example of air pollution means the air monitoring, soil pollution is the soil monitoring, water pollution is the water monitoring. Means monitoring is the method. Through those methods we can assess the quality of that air before entry of the pollutants and after entry of the pollutants, even during the entry of that pollutant. Means pre, during and after monitoring can be happen, monitoring can be practiced, and with the help of this monitoring method we can come to the control whether that particular pollutant can be controlled in house or out house, means indoor or outdoor, whether it is present, where it is present, that is not matter, but whether it can be controlled or not. So it is totally based on the monitoring. So these are the areas where we can think for the monitoring, and after that we can come to the controlling measures. So the air monitoring, environmental data can be gathered using specialized observation tools such as sensor networks and geographic information system. I think you most of the heard about the GIS technologies, remote sensing technologies. So through remote sensing technologies we get the pictures, datas, maps, and with the help of those maps we can analyze what exactly the condition, agriculture condition we can find out, soil condition we can find out, crop condition we can find out, even though settlement condition, same way urban condition, whatever the urban the encroachment or urban sprawling, so that can be find out with the help of the remote sensing data. So that can be useful for the geographical studies as well as environmental studies. Similarly, in soil monitoring, sampling is there. What type of the samples you can collect it, so that is the matter of what the sampling. Then we can uh, see, we can analyze the soil samples, we can monitor with the help of physical, chemical, and biological characteristics. The major areas, major problem of the soil, that is the soil monitoring, the soil salinity is there, soil alkalinity is there, and also the contamination of the soil due to the disposal, due to the discharge of industrial effluent, discharges of the urban areas, or discharge of the what runoff, or whatever the runoff is there from the roads, they can contaminate, they can create the problem of the land also. So that is the part of the soil monitoring. One more important thing is the erosion of the monitoring. So that is the soil problem, soil pollution, that is the erosion due to the construction activities, mining activities, and chances of the erosion, and due to that particular thing Mostly in road networking projects, the erosion features is there. So the erosion creates the problem of the loss of soil. We call as the soil loss erosion or soil losses, which is helpful for the soil agriculture. Similarly, water monitoring is there, and in the water monitoring, there are number of parameters are there. With the help of those parameters, we can assess the quality of water, whether it is potable, whether it is not potable, whether it can be useful for the agriculture, useful for the industries. So according to the monitoring, we can we can think for their applicability or their applications, right? So these are the categories or the areas or the types of the environmental monitoring. Okay. Are you getting my point? Is there any doubt? I'm audible, na? Rajeshri madam?
Sir, you are audible.
Yes, yes. Why I'm
Audible, sir. You are
asking
audible.
because yes, yes. Okay,
Yes,
I'm
you are
asking
audible,
because
sir.
I'm sharing. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Then the benefits of the monitoring. As I said that the benefits of the monitoring. So monitoring combined with the enforcement ensures proper functioning of the environmental protection measures. Okay, prescribed for the development projects or activities, means that can support to the overall development of that company, that industry, that organization. If you are monitoring in proper way, means that can helps to the development of that particular company as well as organization. This also allows the early identification of the significant effects. Means if you are doing pre, during, and after. Let's example of the meteorology department. What they are doing before rainfall. What was the condition of the climate or the atmosphere? After season, or we can say they have their daily monitoring, and in the day they get the details about the temperature, humidity, whatever the parameters they have listed, given by their organization. So they see the changes. What was the yesterday change, what was the last week change, what was the last month change, what was the last year change, and according to that change they can find out, they can predict what will be the change in the tomorrow, what will be the change in the next month or next year. So according to that data, the farmer they can get the benefit, industrialists they can get the benefit, or whatever the tourists are there, so they can also get the benefit. So that will be that information can be beneficial to many type of the stakeholders. They can take the benefit of the agriculture, they can get the benefit by the industries as well as the researchers, right? So that's why the monitoring is very important in the pollution control, or pollution overall pollution management. Through the assuring compliance in the cost-effective manner, monitoring contributes to the optimized economic environmental development benefits, which helps to decision making. Why I'm saying it helps to the decision making? Because whatever the decisions are there, so it is based on the monitoring. Or after, means you want to install air monitoring kit into the city. Why? Because our city is facing the problem of the dust pollution, okay, or air pollution. It is again air pollution issue, okay, air pollution related issue. So our decision makers, let's example of the collector, honorable collector, honorable commissioner, what they will do, they will decide, yes, we should continuous monitoring in our city areas. So they will choose the areas and they will do the continuous monitoring. So they will install, they will suggest to the pollution control board, and they will ask them to install the continuous monitoring. So they will get the details. What is the condition day to day update? They will take the updates. What are the changes in the parameter wise? So they will see the pollutants level, PM10, what is the concentration, PM10, what is the concentration, PM1 micron meter, what is the concentration of that particulate matter, gases condition in day, at night, what is the condition, what is the status. So each and every parameter they will learn from the continuous monitoring data. So according to that, they will decide what they have to plan. Means they will try to find out the problem and try to find out that how they can minimize the problem of the city air pollution. So with the help of this particular data, they will decide what should be the planning for the city. Okay, so this is the benefit of the monitoring for the decision makers in that. Then the next is very important, that is IoT based environmental monitoring. You all are engineering background students or teachers or researchers. I am not talking much on this particular aspect because I am very unknown in this particular technology. Internet of Things based environmental monitoring. Continuous monitoring is again part of this IoT based monitoring. You all students having a lot of scope in this IoT based environmental monitoring because this is the area where you have this scope. Okay, so you can enter for the smart environmental monitoring programs or the technologies. You can develop or you can think for the how it can be possible in continuous monitoring. That is, the continuous monitoring systems are there, but their continuous monitoring parameters are not they are not getting the parameter wise the continuous monitoring system. Okay, so that now incorporate in modern sensor machine learning technique and the internet of things, that is IoT. Means overall advanced environmental monitoring using IoT, this will support to the decision makers. This is totally based on the internet as well as the whatever the technologies you have. On the basis of that, how you can uh, apply in model point of view, modeling point of view, and how it can be user friendly, that particular area. Let's example, now there are various types of the apps are there. Let's example of the air pollution indices. Okay, what is the air pollution index of the Solapur city? If you search on that app, you will get the details of the concentration of gases, concentration of the particulate matter, or like that. So if you search on the that particular app, the city wise, if you want the details of the pollution level, you will get the update. So that type of work is called as the IoT based environmental monitoring. So again, I suggest all of you that you can think for this IoT based environmental monitoring, because there in that area you have a lot of scope. Handy monitoring kits, you can think for the handy monitoring kits. Okay, you have um, uh, uh, in your institute, respected Poddar sir is there, so he have many ideas related to the pollution monitoring controlling technology in indoor as well as in outdoor. So you take the guidance from him also. He have many ideas. He has developed many models related to the indoor as well as the outdoor, for the ambient as well as for the industries also. So in that way, you think for the IoT based models, because in that area, in that particular subject, nobody has entered. So you have an opportunity to enter in that area. Then the environmental monitoring methods. So there are three important methods are there, and we generally use the ground-based sampling and measurement. Okay, means we can go to that particular area, we take the sample, bring to the laboratory, analyze it, and then we can get the result. And after that, we can make the report. So that is the practice we call as the ground-based sampling and the measurement. Second method is based on the model based monitoring. If you develop in computer the present condition, and according to the present condition or last condition, if you develop the model, so this will be helpful to the what the various fields like agriculture field, industrial field, or let's example of the political area. So they can also think for that, and they will decide it. So they can take the help for this particular model also for the future point of view. Okay, then third model is related to the satellite based monitoring. Just I have gone inform you that satellite based model, that is GIS, remote sensing. Even now today, everywhere UAV unmanned aerial vehicles. That is, we call as the, in simply we call as the drone technologies. Everywhere drones are used now. Every system, every area, this drone technology is implemented. Now government has also thinking for the each and every uh, impact study should be through, should be carried out through drone technologies, because the drone can take the live images, and through these images the decision maker can take the decision what should be take the action, what type of action we can take it. So that type of work we call as the satellite based monitoring, but that is aerial photography type. Drone technology or aerial photography is a part of what the aerial studies, but satellite based monitoring means we can we have to think about the satellite images, whatever the images we are getting, whatever the objects are there on ground, whatever the problems are there. Let's example of the coastal problem, coastal pollution problem is there. So I will take the satellite image, because I cannot go and take the photographs, and in that photographs I cannot cover maximum area. So I can only take the area, point area. So for that, for the detailed study, we have to take the, we have to focus on the satellite imageries, and on that satellite imageries we can cover maximum area, we can cover maximum problem with the help of satellite. Because in satellite images we have landsat images. In landsat images we according to the resolution wise, uh, 25 meter, 5 meter, even 1 meter, up to 1 meter quick bird, as well as there are various types of the images, which is in India, NRSC, that is National Remote Sensing Center, they provided the images or satellite maps. So with the help of this satellite map or the images, let's say example of Google Earth. Okay, Google Earth, that gives us an idea about what exactly the status of that particular area. So that type of images, that type of data will be helpful for the monitoring, and on the basis of that data the decision maker can take the decisions for the what we can do or what they can do for the in the way of the pollution monitoring. These are the areas based on the satellites for the environmental monitoring. So we can monitor the atmospheric studies. Atmosphere monitoring is there. Means, let's example, what are the pollutant concentration. We know the structure and composition of atmosphere. We cannot go. I'll not go in detail of the what is the structure and composition. Let's say, just I'll highlight the stratosphere, troposphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, ionosphere, exosphere. In each sphere, the concentration of carbon dioxide, concentration of oxygen, concentration of ozone, each layer by each layer, the concentration is different. Means composition of various chemical species, they are different, they are various form. But if the concentration is more, means their problem is in that particular area, the problem will be the more. So that type of the studies can be cover under the satellite monitoring, satellite based environmental monitoring. Similarly, air quality monitoring is there. Day to day, what is the air quality? So in the air quality, ambient air quality and industrial air quality means you go into the industry, find out the their stack, find out the concentration of the gases, particulate matter in the industrial environment, and similarly in the ambient means whatever the surrounding is there. So surrounding, you go to the surrounding with the help of this monitoring kit, you have to monitor what are the particulate matter concentration as well as the gases concentration. Similarly, climate change studies. So change studies, we use the satellite based data, and in the with the help of the satellite images, what was the climatical changes in North Himalaya, in Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat, or coastal belt. So those areas we can correlate, and with the help of correlation, or we can correlate with the previous data and today's data, um, present data and previous data. According to that, we can monitor, we can modify, or we can create the model what will be the change in the future in the next 5 years and in the next 10 years. Then resource management. For the resource management, we can use satellite images. Glacier studies, we can use satellite images. Flood and drought management. We know the flood and drought, that is also the problem of the pollution. So the flood and drought, so this can be monitored, this can be studied under the satellite images. Then LULC, land use, land cover. How much is land usable and how much land is covered. So that can be only see under the satellite images, means which area is under construction, which area is not constructed, which area is barren land, which area is what, the agricultural land. That type of the uses we call as the land use and land cover. If it is not anything in on that land, then we can say that that is a wasteland. And if it is not useful, if it is not used, then that much is the loss of that particular area. So that can be implemented, that can be decided for the further development. So that is the benefit of the LULC through the satellite based environmental monitoring. Similarly, weather prediction models, modeling studies can be done through the satellite studies, aviation, hazardous monitoring, agriculture monitoring, marine, as well as the phytoplankton study. This is also one more important area where you people have the scope. Marine environment, because marine resources are most important in the way of what the Indian economy. Okay, so coastal area and the phytoplanktons, means the microscopic plants, their concentration, their presence. So that can be studied under the satellite based environmental monitoring. And very important and common, that is the dust storm. This also monitor under the satellite images. So these are the general monitoring methods of pollution as well as the overall other areas also. So in environmental monitoring, we get the help from the monitoring methods. After the monitoring methods, we come to the what we can do for the control of that particular problem. So as I said that there are in the pollution, there are various forms of the pollution, but in this session I'll try to tell you what exactly the pollution monitoring and the environmental pollution. So on the occasion of this particular day, so I will take only the air pollution study. What is exactly the controlling measure, because you all are the engineers.
Hello? Hello? Hello, Dhulap sir? Left way? Hello, sir? Any problem, sir?
Madam. Yeah, actually, madam, I'm facing too much problem, this network problem. I have joined with my mobile, and I don't know, still light is not here, so electric power is the problem is there. When I left, माझं लेफ्ट मी कधी झालो होतो ऍक्च्युली, मी ते स्क्रीन वरतीच बरेच वेळ झाला का?
नाही, आता जस्ट लेफ्ट झालात तुम्ही.
हा हा हा, ऑटोमॅटिक लेफ्ट होत आहे ते. ऍक्च्युली मलाही माहिती नाहीये, कारण मी पूर्ण स्क्रीन शेअर करतो, त्याच्यामुळे मला बाकीचं दिसत नाही.
ठीक आहे, उद्या आज प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर उद्या कंटिन्यू करायचं का सर?
तरी चालेल, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. ऍक्च्युली एक मिनिट मॅडम, मी एकदा परत लाईट आली की त्याची चेक करतो.
हॅलो,
हा मॅडम. हॅलो.
लाईट आले का?
हा लाईट आले.
ओके.
ओके, जस्ट मिनिट. ऍक्च्युली वेनेसडेला इथं लाईट जात असते. आवाज येतोय का? एम ऑडिबल?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
हा. Okay. So we have completed, we have discussed on overall about the monitoring, and my screen is visible, na?
Visible, sir.
Okay. I think I have finished this environmental monitoring methods, this list of satellite-based environmental monitoring methods, areas that we have
It
finished.
has been also discussed, sir.
Yes, yes. Air pollution, just we have started.
Yes, yes.
So I will not go in details about, because pollution area is pollution is a vast area. In that pollution area, there are various types of the pollution, but I will focus only on the air pollution. And your background, means your students' background, all are related to the engineering. So that's why I will only focus on the air pollution. I'll once again share you the screen. Now it is visible to everyone. Okay. So as everyone, we are aware about the air, what exactly the air pollution. So I will not go in detail. It is nothing but the one or more contaminants, or the combination of those contaminants in air, which is injurious to the human as well as the other life, or we can say the property, which can affect, we can harms to the other also. So when they are in the form of what, the liquid, gases, or solid, they can create a problem on human as well as the other materials. So as we know, the material means air pollution, they can affect on the other materials also. Similarly, they are also affecting on the living things. Means they are affecting on the human, other animals, as well as they can affect on the plants life also. This picture that denotes what exactly in the air pollution system. Okay, so as we know, the air pollution studies, or in any type of the pollution studies, the first most important thing is the source, and second part is the receptor. Okay, who receives the pollutants, who affects due to those pollutants, we call as the receptors. Means their concentrations are more, their impacts are more, we call as the receptors. Okay, but in between that, where it is happening or where it is takes place, so that is the process. Okay, that process, or that we are looking for the air pollution studies, means it is again the problem of what the air pollution studies, or it is related to the air pollution system. Just a minute. It's clear now? I think it is not disconnected now.
Screen is not
Visible.
now visible, sir.
Okay. So source and receptor are the both important parts, or the things of the system, air pollution study system. So emissions, which is emitted from that source, from the medium, means the air, through the air, they are emitted, they are passes, and the receptor which receives the impacts, which is affected due to that impact, so that is the receptor. So emission, there are various ways. They can be emitted through anthropogenic sources as well as natural, means human or man-made activities, through man-made activities, or through natural activities, they are emitted, the pollutants, they are emitted. Transport means, let's example, that through transport or through transformation or through other ways, they can be that can be possible. So this overall, that indicates the overall air pollution system. One side it's the source, and another side it's a receptor. Okay, receptor receives the impacts, the source that forms the emission. So that is the system of this particular, means that auto rickshaw is the source of the emission. Through air it can come, and receiver is this lady, so that receives the pollutants, or that can be affect on the others body. So that is the main problem of this particular system, so that we have to learn in this air pollution study. What exactly in this type of the air monitoring? As I told, that monitoring is the method of the assessing or the checking the what type of the pollutants, what type of the impacts. So in similarly in air pollution studies, we should know about the source monitoring and the ambient monitoring. Source monitoring, just I have given the example of the auto rickshaw, that is the source. But we don't know the pollutants, they are coming into the city or coming into the area or our surrounding. That part is called as the ambient. Means their sources are not fixed. That the sources are not fixed. The sources are different to different, or area to area. So that part of the studies we call as the ambient air monitoring. And you people, the students from the engineering background, you have the scope in the ambient monitoring studies as well as the source monitoring. So everyone means, the engineers or engineering background students, they are mostly working on the source monitoring. They know the industrial problem, means they know the industrial process, industrial monitoring, industrial production, industrial disposal, industrial export, import, whatever they have. So they know each and everything, what exactly entered into the industry and what exactly out into the industry, come out from the industry. So they know each and everything. But apart from that, if the pollutants, they are in unknown form, their characteristics are unknown to each and every person, then the job is very difficult. How we can monitor, how we can control it. So that is the part of the ambient monitoring. And for this ambient monitoring, these type of the instruments, this type of the equipments can be used for the monitoring. These are the air fine dust sampler, we call as the high volume sampler, or RDS, respirable dust sampler, or gases sampler. All those are the field-based monitoring methods. With the help of these field-based monitoring methods, now your job is to how we can modify those equipments. You have an IoT-based background. You think for this how we can monitor, or we can make in compact form, handy type. So I request to all the students, think for the handy type of the samplers. Nobody has working, nobody means, there are few companies, they are working in this particular area. So if you create like let's say example of development of the softwares, or developing apps. So similar point of view, you think for the this particular studies, means you have a scope in this particular area also, ambient air monitoring studies. Because many people, many industrialists, many engineers, they are working on the source monitoring, but nobody is working on the ambient monitoring studies. uh, you have an opportunity to work in this particular area, and your background, you have a background of the this particular type of the studies also in your institute. So for this, I think you can uh, get the details, or ask to details your Podda sir also. Okay. So afterwards, the classification of air pollution studies or air pollutants, we know about the primary pollutants, secondary pollutants, and primary pollutants are the main important, which is emitted directly from the directly into the emitted directly and come into the atmosphere. But there are some pollutants, they are formed from the primary pollutants, they convert it and they come into the atmosphere. So these are the list of the parameter, the pollutants and their impacts. We know their impacts. They are in the form of oxides of carbon, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen. Apart from that, volatile organic compound, that is VOCs are there, particulate matters are there. Apart from that, secondary air pollutants are there, that is sulfuric acid, nitric acid, carbonic acid. They all are acids, they are formed from the primary pollutants, we call as the acid rain. Okay, this is again a major issue, major problem in many industries, in many industrial area or urban area. They are facing the problem of the this particular acid rain like that. Then the secondary pollutant like ozone, formaldehyde, peroxyacetylene nitrate, that is PAN. All those are the list of the pollutants. They are in the form of the primary as well as the secondary pollutant. Their impacts are also very important. Their sources mostly from the industries as well as from the natural. Natural is very less, but industries, there are list of the industries, they are emitting or disposes this type of the gases, that is carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and particulates. These all those are the pollutants. They are come out from the various sources. This is the National Ambient Air Quality Monitoring Program, which is given by the Central Pollution Control Board, and each and every state pollution control board, or we call as the MPCB or State Pollution Control Board, their divisions or the subdivisions offices, they are working on these particular projects. Each and every city having NAQM projects, so they are thinking, they are working to how they can control their the air qualities, how they can change their air qualities, how they can monitor daily their air qualities in their cities. So each and every city, they are coming under this particular program, and their continuous monitoring is there, and that data is filled in their softwares, and that data reported on the highlighted on the Central Pollution Control Board's website. So these are the practices. So manual monitoring is the those are the manual practices, or manual parameters can be done in their laboratories. Automatic analyzers are there. So the automatic analyzers, with the help of automatic analyzers, we can analyze the those parameters. So in manual monitoring, gravimetric estimation method is there, that is for the particulate matter. Sampling processing and the chemical analyzers are there, and there are what the if you go for the advanced studies, so you can bring the sample, go for the heavy metal studies. So our ICPM studies, you will find out the concentration of heavy metal in the atmosphere, or in the atmosphere in the surrounding environment. That can be find out with the help of the advanced studies, or the advanced spectroscopic studies. These are what the site parameter selection studies. Site area, what is the exactly site area, what exactly the condition means, overall details or the situation of that particular study area. There we can find out, there we can set the parameters, selection of the parameters. Okay, these are the programs, or the parameters, or the hierarchy given by the Central Pollution Control Board. As I said that in the monitoring, air pollution studies, satellite-based air monitoring, and the mapping, what exactly we are getting? We know in various areas, this GIS and remote sensing is used. Here I will show you in simple way how this satellite-based monitoring is there. Okay, so in real world, we know the condition of that area. Let's say example of Indian map. We know the Indian map, the climatical condition. Let's say example of the air pollutant parameter. Means we know the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, the condition, their status. So with the help of satellite, so satellite will run on this particular area. When it passes through the India, they will captures the data, they will collect the information. That data will goes towards the what, the linked department, that is NRSE, IIRS, that is Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, MRSAC, National Remote Sensing Agencies, or MRSAC, or state-wise remote sensing application center. There that data will receives, and through received data they will analyze it, they will screen that data, and they will report to the what, whatever the areas are there. Means they will report to the central pollution, they will report to the agriculture, they will report to the meteorology department. So according to the received data, they will send the information, send the details to the concerned department. and the concerned department will analyze once again, and they will implement, and they will write a report, and they will publish their manuals. So this type of the activity, this type of the practices can be done in their lab. So this is this satellite based air monitoring and mapping studies. So let's example, these are the points. Okay, with the help of these points, you will get the maps. Okay, you can create the maps. Let's say example of air quality of India, or the America, or any type of the you can take any example of any country and their monitoring stations. You will cover it. You can form a, or you can create a map of that particular pollutant. Okay, this is called as what the satellite based monitoring mapping. And this is again, you engineer students having the scope in this particular area. Similarly, the major pollutants are there. So one by one, we will see in shortly the pollutants, their sources, and their effects. So the most important, the pollutant which create a major problem in the atmosphere or in the overall environment, that is due to this carbon monoxide. And when it comes, or when it is in the form of carbon monoxide, the changes or the characteristics in the form of what the, it is, because of it has what the properties of the colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas. And because of this, it is identified in the surrounding environment. And their conversion is the conversion of this carbon monoxide into the carbon dioxide. So when it converts into the carbon dioxide, we know their problems, we know their effects, how it is affected. So that part we can we known to we know about the impacts due to this carbon dioxide. So these are the properties, or when it is present in the surrounding. So no effect at normal concentration, but at higher concentration it is seriously affected. Their sources are from the natural activities like volcanic eruption or natural gas emissions. Okay, then seed germination contribute to the carbon monoxide. Transport sector contributes 75%. This is what the man-made activity or human activity, or we call as the anthropogenic activity. But volcanic or natural emissions, all those are the what the natural activities or natural sources. But transport, that contributes 75%, because when it is incomplete burning, then it is in the form of carbon monoxide. When it reacts with the oxygen, it is immediately converted into the CO2. Similarly, residential wood burning, that is 10%, and industrial processes 15%. So wood burning, industrial processes are also the sources of the formation of the carbon monoxide. Okay, so same way I have given into the pie chart their presence in the in various sectors. Similarly, oxides of nitrogen is there. So if you look at the forms of the nitrogen, there are three forms of the nitrogen, and that is in the form of what the oxides of nitrogen in the atmosphere. So nitrogen oxide, then nitrogen dioxide, and nitrous oxide. Okay. It is connected, na?
The presentation is not visible.
Yeah.
Just now.
Yes. Just 2 minutes.
Now it is visible, sir.
Okay. So similarly, the oxides of nitrogen is also a major air pollutant in the air pollutant, and their forms are NO, NO2, and N2O. When it is present, they create a problem of the global warming and greenhouse effect, and we call as the greenhouse gas, this oxides of nitrogen. This also contribute in the formation of what the acid rain also. So we will not go in detail. So yeah, their sources mostly from the fuel combustion in automobiles and industries, even lightning, forest fires, natural ionizing radiations. All those are the important and major sources of these oxides of nitrogen. Similarly, their effects are there, but the major problem due to this is the climate change, as well as we call it the greenhouse emission or greenhouse effect. The third one is the oxides of sulfur. The oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen both are very, very important gases which creates many problems in the atmosphere. Okay, so oxides of sulfur, generally they are called as the oxides of SOx, or SOx is nothing but the oxides of sulfur, and which includes SO2 and SO3, which can immediately binds to the water molecules or the water vapor molecules, and it converted into the sulfuric acid as well as the sulfur H2SO3. Okay, means they can convert it into the acid, and that is a major part of the acid rain. 67% of SOx pollution due to the volcanic activities and other natural sources, remaining due to the fossil fuel burning, transportation, and industrial activities. Okay, so these are the sources of sulfur oxides or oxides of sulfur. Their effects are, many effects are there when it comes or when it comes in contact with the living as well as non-living things. So this is the important oxide of the pollution study. Then hydrocarbons are there. Similarly, gases. So the hydrocarbons are there. These includes methane, ethylene, acetylene, terpenes, etc. There are these are the sources of this hydrocarbon, that is source which includes coal fields, natural fires, incomplete combustion, forest fire, agriculture burning, etc. So when they comes in the environment, they can create the carcinogenic effect. Okay, they can mostly create the problem like as a photochemical smog, or we call as what uh, the damages also the plants as well as the other materials also. So this picture that shows the pan damage due to this pan damaged the leaves of this milkweed. Okay, we call as the impact of this particular pan on leaves chronically and then acutely, right? Similar, this is the one more important pollutant of the air the pollutant of air pollutant. We have completed the gases related pollutant. Now the particulate matter, that is the solid type of the pollutant in the air pollution study. So the particles we know, and each and every city or area, they are facing the problem of the particulate matter, and in this particulate matter there are according to their sizes, there are various types of the particulate matter. So the particles of the different substances suspended in the air, uh, they are in the form of the Atkin molecules or Atkin particle. Their size is less than 2.5. Then the particles which has the size of 1 micron meter, the size of particle which has 2.5 micron meter, or the more than that, we call it the dust particles. Each and every particle, they are very harmful. Mostly the problems on workers, we call as the occupational health hazard. So who are working in mining areas, who are working in the where the particles are generated, threads are formed, their major problem, they are directly enter into the body through respiratory tract, respiratory system, and they are directly they are affected due to this entry of those particles into their respiratory systems. Mostly they are affecting on the lungs, lung cancer, lung type of the organs or lungs problems, and that is the main problem of this particular particulate matter. In the form of solid particles and liquid droplets, particles vary widely in size, even though in smog formation the particulate matter is there. Okay, different particulate matter materials are aerosols, dust, smoke, fumes, mist, fog, and flies. All those are the important particulate matter. But how we can monitor? So for this monitoring, for this particulate matter, we have various types of the equipment, like air fine dust sampler is there. ADS we call it, in simply we call as air fine dust sampler, ADS. High volume sampler is yes, commonly or basically we call as the high volume sampler, HVS. Then RDS, that is respiratory dust sampler. those are the equipments which are used for the monitoring as well as assessment of the particulate matter in surrounding areas. Okay, so this chart or pie chart given the figure gives the figures of the sources of 2.5 sizes of the particles. So the maximum is coming out from the residential where the wood burning is there, and that contributes, or that particular source gives 47% the particulate matter. Latter, the maximum from the transportation, and the least is from the industries, mostly the aluminum as well as the pulp paper industry, but they are very less as compared to the transportation of the residential wood. This residential wood burning is takes place in the what, in rural areas. There the particulate matter generation is maximum, right? Uh, how the small is PM? Okay, so we heard this term, that is PM 2.5 or PM 10. If you look at, or if you see the difference between the PM 10 and PM 2.5, so the size is less than 10 micron meter. Uh, the size is more than 10 micron meter in diameter, then we call as the PM 10, and the size is less than 2.5 or exact 2.5, then we call as the PM 2.5 size of particle. Okay, this is what the, let's say, imagine the stand of the human hair, and the point on the hair, that is the size of this particular PM. Okay, this fine particle come from the variety of sources, that is diesel truck and buses, then construction equipment, power plants, wood stove, wildfires, etc. All those are the areas or the sources of these fine particles. Similarly, they can come out from the chemical reactions in the atmosphere, and which transport the gases into the fine particles. So how we can control the air pollution? Okay, now we are coming to our title, or what the title we have fixed, air pollution, huh? Air pollution prevention, or we can say the control. So we cannot say we can fully prevented the air pollution, but whatever in our hand, that with the help of that we can control, or we can minimize the pollution level. So it has two ways to control the air pollution. First one is the preventive measures, which is given by the organization. We can say it is prevented through legislative measures. And second way, control measures using equipment. So there are some technologies are there. So with the help of these technologies, we can control at the source whatever the pollutants emitted from that company or from that source. At that source, we can control it with the help of equipment. So that we will see in the next slide. So the preventive measures. So selection of the suitable fuel is the most important thing. Modification in the industrial process is the another measure. And the third one is the selection of suitable site and zoning for the industrial unit. We know the case study of our city, okay, urban problem, industrial problem, okay. If your company is in the urban area or in core city area, then problem of the residences, okay, they will oppose to your company also. So that type of the problem, before the start of your company, you think for uh, the the development of the city or the residential or that particular village. Uh, so you think all those aspects, and then you set up. You can start your setup, or you can start your company settlement in that particular area. Okay. So these are the preventive measures. Apart from this, source control not possible. Some measures taken to the prevent for the pollution. Controlling, collecting the pollutant by using equipment. Destroying the pollutants by thermal or the catalytic combustion. Changing the pollutants to less toxic form by releasing the pollutants to the tall chimney for greater dispersion. I think you have might be known about the why the chimneys are in tall in form, because when it is having if they are height, then their dispersion rate is maximum, as we know dispersion criteria. Okay, so they can distribute or they can disperse in the air in um, what is that, in fast way. Okay, they can distribute, they can scattered in fast way. They will, their impact will not be happen. So that is the main purpose of this particular thing. Similarly, there you can prevent through the laws. Whatever the government has given the laws, so you follow the laws, or industries should follow the laws which is given by the Ministry of Environment or the Central Pollution Control Board. So these are the list of the laws they can follow, and through those laws they can control or prevent the pollution at the source. But what government is doing? So government is trying to remove the used leaded petrol, because we know from the leaded petrol what come out, and because of that leaded petrol, mostly lead content or particulate matter, their problem is in the what surrounding. They increase the level of this particulate matter as well as the heavy metal into the air. But now the government is change the policy. They are focused on their what, remove the leaded petrol, and they know and they are aware about their impact. Even though industrial acts are implemented to control the harmful emissions of the gases, they are continuously monitoring, because government has categorized in the red industries, yellow industries, green industries. Red means they are harmful, they are generating hazardous gases, or they are highly what risk, we can simply we call as what the their production is very hazardous in form, so their monitoring should be regularly. Medium polluted, that is yellow category, and green category, that is low polluted, or they are what, eco-friendly. Then the natural management team work to minimize the effect of various natural disasters like forest fire, volcanic eruption, that are causes of the air pollution. Okay, so in that way government is trying to minimize the problem of the air pollution. So these are the general aspect, general precautionary measures or the preventive measures. But in technical point of view, how we can control the air pollution. So I will not go in detail, but I will highlight what are the equipments which can be used for the air pollution control. So this is what the settling chamber is there. So this is the device. With the help of this device, we can remove the pollutants at the source. Mostly industry, they use this type of the settling chamber, and in the settling chamber it has an capacity to settle down the particulate matter, settle down the gases into that particular chamber. And entry and exit, if you look at the entry and exit, earlier or previous, in before the entry it was high content, but afterwards it has very less or nil in form. Okay, you will get the clean air. Whatever the pollutants are there, they will drop down. Okay, and this will be useful for the removal of the pollutant particulate matter. This is called as what, the gravitational settling chamber, right? Gravitational settling chamber. These are the advantages and disadvantages. So initial cost is high, sorry, low initial cost, easy to design, low pressure, because it is totally based on the gravitational force. Okay. Low maintenance cost ahead, dry and continuous disposal of the solid particulates ahead. It has few disadvantages. It requires large space because it is totally based on the area. Less collection efficiency and only larger size of particles. So you engineer students, you have a scope, you can how so you can think on this gravitational settling chamber in IoT based way. You find out the lacunas in the cyclone separator. Maybe you have maybe you have been studied this particular concept. Okay, the cyclone separator, this centrifugal force is there. Okay, which is utilized to separate the particulate matter. It can remove the 10 to 15 micron meter particle size of the particles, and used mostly in the industries. Okay, it is linked with the industrial stack, and in the industrial from the industrial stack, whatever the dust particles are there, or the particulate matter is there, or gases are there, so they can come out, or we can remove through this type of the cyclone separator. It is basically working on the principle of cyclone. Okay, clockwise and anti-clockwise. There is what the force is there. So with the help of that force, particles will come out at the basement, and the gases, clean gases, we can come out. We can come out the clean gases from the top side. So this is the cyclone separator. Their advantages, disadvantages are there. So initial cost is very low, they require less floor area, simple construction, maintenance, can handle large volume of gas at high temperature. It has few disadvantages like large headroom, less efficiency, and sensitive to variable. Even though you think for this particular equipment, even if you redesign it, you can get the what patent also. So in that way, you have to think for the redesigning of this equipment, because nowadays they are not updated, because you have an idea, you have an scope to create to redesign this type of the equipment, which is IoT based and machine based, learning based, the equipment. This is electrostatic precipitator, and this is overall work on the electric charges, means particles having the charges. So with the help of this charge particle, means positive and negative charge particles, you have to provide the charges, and with the help of that charges, we can separate out. This is what the electrostatic precipitator. Okay, so okay, so these are their advantages. I'll not go in detail, just a highlight. Okay, this is the third one. Fabric filter is there. I'm joined, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay. This is one more important technology is there. This is very simple, but it has a lot of scope in the industrial environment. So that is the fabric filter. It is working similar like as a flour mill. So we can use the the oven fabric bags for the control of, mostly it is used for the control or the removal of the pollutant in the form of the particulate matter. Even though we can remove the fine or the size, which can remove the particles up to the 1 micron, and the efficiency is 99%. It is similar like as a fabric bags, or which is mostly used in the flour mill. Okay, so even you can think, your student can think on these particular technologies for the redesign as well as user friendly or compact way. So this can be this is possible to them also. These are their advantages and disadvantages. So advantage is higher collection efficiency for smaller than the 10 micrometer particle size. Performance decreases become visible, giving pre-warning. Normal power consumption is there. Disadvantages is high temperature gases needs to be cooled, high maintenance and fabric replacement, and large size equipments. Fabric is liable to chemical attack. So all those are the advantages and disadvantages of this fabric filters. And one more important, that is the scrubbers, and we have the scrubbers like this way. The cyclonic scrubber is there. So with the help of the scrubber, in that particular scrubber, the water spray is there. So with the help of spray, when spraying on the gases as well as the particles, so the particles will come down and the gases, clean gases will come out. So we can collect the clean gases, and the particulate matter, we can collect it and we can reuse or dispose in the hazardous site. So here also your student or the students having the opportunity to redesign it, and how it can be compact, how it can be user friendly in industrial point of view. So the industries, they are thinking they're about they should be advanced, they should be changed into the equipment also, because they are not getting that much amount of the efficiency. So you students, industry, the engineering students have an scope to work on these areas also. Okay, so with this we have completed air pollution studies, means the part of the pollution prevention and control and monitoring of the air. Similarly, we can implement the same concept in the water pollution as well as soil monitoring as well as noise pollution monitoring studies. The concept is the same, but we can implement same on all type of the pollution studies. So overall, I'm coming to the conclusion. So the important point to remember are well-designed monitoring programs can be provide important feedback on the actual environment impacts of the development projects or the activities. Environmental monitoring is essential to provide the understanding of existing environmental conditions, follow the monitoring programs which can assess the effectiveness of the management responses to the development, mostly for the EIA as well as the environmental clearance studies and overall protectiveness of the environmental protection regulations. Here I have given the list of the goals, that is 17 goals, which is designed or decided by the UNEP. So we have to follow the goals, and the pollution related aspect, that is water related aspect, it is in the 6. So if we focus on that goal, means we can control, or even the 7th goal, it is on the renewable energy. So wherever it is possible, we have to link with this goal so that we can achieve the target, whatever the targets we country or whole the nation, whole nation having the goal. So that can be that we can achieve. So with this, uh, I have concluded my presentation. So first of all, I am extremely sorry because of this technical issue. I am not focused on my overall presentation because of the internet, because of the power, and this is these are the problems. Because of those problems, I unable give the continuation in this presentation. So with this, I consider that I consider you understood my technical problems from my side. So with this, I thanks to organizer as well as the principal of AG Patil College, vice principal of AG Patil College, and whole organizing team for organizing this event. So with this, I once again thanks to one and all. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt, any questions, please ask me. I will try to solve their queries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There was some interruption, but you continued very well. Now I am going to express vote of thanks. Dr. Dhulap has expressed his views on monitoring the pollution with wonderful presentation, which explained the various monitoring methods as well as scope for the engineering students. So our students will think on whatever you have suggested, sir. I give the assurance of my students. Now I am going to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Dhulap sir, as well as I also take an opportunity to thank our principal, vice principal for supporting us. I also say thank you to the IIC team as well as the audience which was present for this lecture. Thank you. With the permission of dignitaries, I declare that you can leave the meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.